I feel as though the answer to who affects my happiness is really found in the question, who affects me? I used a tiering system to show who affects my happiness the most, and it really boils down to who influences me and my life the most. I influence my own life the most of all, but right after that is my girlfriend, my best friend, and my grandma, who I even live with. After that, it's people that I regularly interact with, but that don't have as much sway on my future. This tier includes coworkers, immediate family, good friends, teachers, and so forth. We can carry on this pattern all the way to a natural conclusion, but it would be a bit tedious. Who affects your happiness?
Well, having been a daughter, a sister, a mother, a grandmother, and all the people that I fulfill those roles with are still alive and people I love deeply. How closely I can stay in touch with them, since most of them don't live close by at all, does affect my happiness. I know that I am ultimately responsible for my own happiness. It definitely, of course, affects my happiness if I get a phone call or get to spend time with anyone in my family or my close friends. My pet cockatoo is also in that circle. The state of the world also does affect my state, and staying in that river of happiness and just appreciation for the gift of life is challenging sometimes when every time I read or turn on the news, it seems like, I'm hearing about another mass shooting or horrible injustice, really, really terribly, terribly sad things all over the world. And I ask myself, what can I do? Some of these things are something that being here in my little house out in the country, I don't feel can have a real big, huge effect on it. But I think that one thing I can do is allow myself or discipline myself to stay positive, to look for the good in everyone around me, to keep aware that my feelings do affect those around me, and they in turn are affecting other people. Sometimes we don't even know our impact. I think most of us have had the experience of someone we haven't seen in a while coming up to us, and we haven't seen them in a long time, but the memory that comes to their mind that they want to share is maybe something that we said to them once that was maybe really helpful, and they were in a time of crisis and we might not have even known it. So we never know the impact that we can make just by showing up and being open and friendly and listening to people, noticing when people are left out and helping them to feel included, helping them to feel that connection. Even if we're just a stranger, it can really make a difference. I saw my dad do that growing up. He would always be the first one to notice in any place we went that somebody needed help, whether it was with a heavy box they were struggling with, or he just had an instinct, and he always found a way to connect with them and just somehow very softly brighten their day. I think that's real important. Definitely makes me happy when I can do that. Sometimes I forget and I'm sort of like sleepwalking through my life, but then I try and realize when I'm doing that and pop back up. I want to be kind of more a force of good than a dead weight that drags everything else down.
Thank you. As I've noted earlier in this video, goal accomplishment plays a large role in my perspective on happiness. Since goals change and new interests develop over time, I definitely expect my perspective on happiness to morph as I age. My values could change, and I might come to hold nature's beauty more highly than personal gratification, for example. Aging successfully may become more important to me as I get older. I may want to focus on my nutrition, sleep habits, and exercise more astutely than in the past. I do expect certain components of my perspectives on happiness to remain the same, such as the belief that goal accomplishment creates happiness, or the Aristotelian notion that happiness is the point of everything we do. What are your thoughts?
For me, my basic belief in what happiness is and what equilibrium is, happiness being kind of a state of awe and wonder, sort of the way maybe a young child, or even I see it in young animals like fawns, sort of beholding the world in wonder. That has not changed. I still find that a factor or factors in happiness. One thing that's changed over time is how much accomplishing goals are a part of what brings me contentment. I've raised my all my children, my family is raised, and I'm so proud of them. They're really all doing so well, and they're making great contributions to the world. But I no longer have career goals for myself. I had a very wonderful career. So how my perspective has maybe changed is about embracing the small challenges of day-to-day life instead of trying to impact huge change like some of my professional years. I don't want to lose my natural buoyancy and ability to kind of surf the waves in life with the challenges and the sorrows that life inevitably brings to us. It is challenging as one grows older. One loses, people my age have been dying around me, people that I know that I'm close to, some relatives, even cousins my age, have already died. And I'm trying to embrace impermanence as also a part of life. And by impermanence, I think I mean not just the changing of the world around me, but the spiritual impermanence of everything. How everything really is always, always subtly changing, or maybe quite noticeably changing when it's big enough to get our attention, such as climate change, which we pretty much have ignored until recently. I do want to keep my natural buoyancy. I have to be artful and creative and even more positive to do that, I think, as I grow older and my body grows older.